John, you returned just 2 nights ago from Afghanistan. Why did you go? What did you see there in your response to Leon Panetta's surprise visit to Afghanistan?
It was such a revelation. I wanted to go. It's my first time and been working for 11 years denouncing this war. And we were invited with the Afghan Peace Volunteers, this small, intentional community of young people working for peace and nonviolence, to launch this campaign. So I've always wanted to go, but to actually see, I mean, from the air, it was like 1,000 miles of the Alps and the rugged terrain, which we call the graveyard of empires, the poverty, the legacy of war, the corruption, the pollution. It was very hard to see the suffering of the people and this ongoing cycle of violence. And everywhere we went, we heard, end the war, stop our suffering, do what you can, tell the people of America to continue to work to stop the killing now. In the midst of so much suffering and injustice, it just boggles the mind. Here are these 25 young people in Kabul who've committed their lives to Gandhian nonviolence. And Anne and I and Mairead have traveled the war zones of the world, and we've never seen anything like it. Their steadfast dedication. They're doing public peace marches. They built a peace park in one of their villages. They're bringing in internationals. They're doing Skype sessions with young people around the country, and they're continually calling for an end to the war and the killing. And so they invited us to join them Tuesday with this UN official to launch this call. And again, I'm just learning so much being there. 2 million people have been killed in the last 4 decades. 10 years of the Soviet occupation, the civil war with the warlords who are all still there working in the Karzai government, the Taliban oppression, and now 11 years of our war and occupation. And these kids, at great risk to their lives, all of them have lost friends and loved ones, standing up and being a beacon of light and peace. So that's why we went there, to offer them some solidarity. But it turned out to be a great experience for us as longtime activists. And the message, too, was that we would share with activists and all your listeners is we have to continue to work to end the war and try to begin a new road toward healing and recovery.
And Ryan, of course, this is not your first time in Afghanistan, but I'm wondering if you could reflect on the changes from the time when you were a diplomat there and now as you're hearing Leon Panetta talk about an enduring presence of the United States in Afghanistan.
Indeed. I was there 12 years ago as we reopened the embassy. I've been back 3 times now. The comment of Secretary of Defense Panetta that we will be leaving behind 6,000 to 10,000 military troops, I think, is a deal breaker. I think the forces that are standing against the U.S. occupation of Afghanistan now will not put up at all with any sort of foreign forces left there. So as President Karzai and President Zardari of Pakistan are meeting in Turkey just these last 2 days on a roadmap for peace, which is kind of taking the roadmap out from the hands of the United States, which has been trying to weasel its way in after it spent billions, if not trillions of dollars on war in Afghanistan. That has meant that so many millions of people in Afghanistan actually have not received schools, have not gotten health clinics, roads that have not been built, but it's all war. And the people of Afghanistan don't want war anymore. That was the common thread of all of the talks that we had with people in Kabul. We didn't go outside of Kabul on this trip, but people want peace. They want the Americans out. They want the NATO forces out. Of course, they're concerned about what the future is because the brutality of the Taliban, the brutality of the warlords, as John mentioned, many of those that are in the Karzai government, they are concerned about that. But they are more deeply concerned that this occupation that's already gone on for 12 years will continue.